Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Ali. We have a very interesting topic today. Today we're going to talk about how you can use music as an emotional outlet to change your life.
What do you mean, Ali?
What do I mean? Well, let's think about it. Well, music can bring out certain types of emotions depending on how it is portrayed. For example, music can bring out emotions like sadness, anger, happiness, frustration, even fear. So, if it is possible for music to make us feel emotions, could it also be possible for it to help us with stuff like anxiety, stress, or depression? Studies show that it can. In fact, there is a whole field that uses music for therapeutical reasons. This field is called music therapy. Music therapy incorporates music into therapeutical methods by stimulating cognitive, social motor, emotional, and creative development. This is done to enhance functional abilities. It's also an alternative method to normal therapy. People who don't respond to normal therapy as well might benefit from music therapy. An interesting fact is MD Wit 2020 was actually testing music on participants who were experiencing stress to test the effects of music therapy.
The test was conducted on both physiological and psychological factors of stress. The results show that music had a medium to large impact on stress-related outcomes, leading to an overall reduction of stress for the participants involved.
That's very interesting, right? But let's talk about why this might work and how it affects the brain.
The brain is divided into four parts: the frontal lobe, the occipital lobe, the temporal lobe, and the parietal lobe. In this chart, you will also know that there is a cerebellum and the spinal cord, but we are not talking about those today. When the brain receives music frequencies from the ears, the entire region lights up. Music makes all four of these regions react at the same time, each focusing on different aspects of music that is being interpreted. After the brain determines pitch and volume, soon after, reactions like emotions will start to trigger.
And now we're about to break down each section of the brain, not just the sections, but the things that are involved within those sections and how they react or how they help with music. So just FYI, it's about to get extremely scientific right now, so just FYI.
The first part we're going to start with is the Broca's area. The Broca's area of the brain enables speech. We use this part of the brain to express music, and playing an instrument might stimulate and improve the functions of this part of your brain. And this part of the brain is called the Wernicke's area. The Wernicke's area is the part of the brain that comprehends spoken and written language. This part of the brain also helps us analyze and enjoy music. Next up, we have the occipital lobe, which processes what we see. Interesting fact about this portion of the brain: professional musicians, when they play music or listen to music, this portion of the brain actually lights up. While for others, it's the temporal lobe, which is the auditory and language center, that lights up. This new collected information suggests that musicians might visualize a type of music score while listening to music. And next, we have the nucleus accumbens. This part of the brain seeks pleasure and reward. It also releases dopamine and plays a huge role in addiction. Music affects this part of the brain by stimulating the release of dopamine, which some say could be similar to the effects of cocaine. Next up, we have the amygdala. This part of the brain triggers and processes emotions. This part of the brain is stimulated by music and brings out emotions such as pleasure and fear. This next one is called the hippocampus. This area of the brain produces and retrieves memories. Music may also increase neurogenesis in the hippocampus. This process improves memory by allowing new production of neurons. Interesting fact, this is also one of the regions of the brain to be affected by Alzheimer's first. Next, we have the hypothalamus, which actually controls a lot. This is the portion of the brain that links the nervous system and endocrine system. It also releases hormones and chemicals that regulate mood, heart rate, body temperature, and appetite. Music can actually affect this area by reducing heart rate and blood pressure. Next up, this little beautiful green thing right here is called the corpus callosum. This area allows coordination and helps with complex thoughts. This portion of the brain is actually used by musicians to help and translate notes into actual finger positions. For example, if someone's playing piano and reading the notes on the book, it helps them go into certain finger positions. Next up, we have the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is responsible for decision making and planning. According to recent studies, listening to music can enhance its abilities to function. So, I would say music such as classical or progressive music would probably have a huge impact on this area of the brain. Well, since Mozart theory was actually proven wrong, I guess genres like classical and progressive music wouldn't really stimulate that portion of the brain unless it was really your favorite genre to listen to. And lastly, we have the putamen. This portion of the brain processes rhythm and regulates coordination of the body movement. Music increases dopamine in this portion of the brain. Some music therapists have used music to trigger this portion of the brain to help people suffering from Parkinson's disease.
And after all that scientific information, which I told you would be a lot, I'm back. Did you miss me? All right, let's continue with the rest of this video.
Another interesting fact is a researcher by the name of Umbrello M 2020 analyzed studies that were ran on 900 ICU patients. Music therapy reduced stress and anxiety assessed by self-report scales on physiological parameters for each individual patient. It was a really interesting study.
So we talked about this topic today because it was a very interesting topic. I think it's really interesting how scientists are still doing a lot more research on this topic to try to figure out why our brain has this kind of connection with music. You know, why it makes us scared for certain parts or excited when we're in the gym or, you know, excited for like action parts or whatever, whichever. So I think that you yourself should definitely use music as an emotional outlet to help with anything in life. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this video.